Hey man, it's your boy Mr. V. Let's get it. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning into my YouTube channel. You're all welcome. Yes, please don't feel at home. Be at home, right? We're family up in here. While we on that family talk, please, man, just like, subscribe, let's go hit that notification bell so that you may be notified every single time when I put up the video. That's after you have subscribed, guys. Come on now. Come on now. We're trying to grow, man. We're trying to do something. Black man is trying to come up. Please help me out to be where I need to be. Because when I come up, you come up, everybody comes up, and we are just one big happy family. But in any case, I want to touch on something that is not particularly, how would I? Okay, it's current event, but it's not news like what you would on a normal random day here, right? I wanted to touch on two things, mainly because I might add one or two other things, but mainly for me was two things. Number one is drugs in South Africa. Number two is crime in South Africa. Right? When I look at it, right, when I think about the whole thing, every single time when you have a conversation with someone who does not come from South Africa, they always associate South Africa with crime, right? And I was like, okay, do we like that kind of a CV as a country? Because if every Tom, Dick, and Harry says that we are a crime-infested country and we don't seem to have a problem with it, don't seem to be doing anything. I mean, it's been going on for a while. It's been, I think, from the Hizo days, maybe even before the Hizo days, because Hizo was inspired by some of the events that were happening in and around that time. We knew that our country is one of those countries that have got a lot or humongous amount of crime. And with crime comes drugs, because for you to execute these criminal activities very well, you have to be very, how would I put it, very strong. You have to be courageous, and courage would only be able to come if you have taken something that is stronger, right? The likes of drugs. And for me, I was watching, I think it was Podcasting Chill now, when McGee was saying that he went to Botswana, right? And everybody knows that Bots is one of the very peaceful countries. I mean, Botswana, Swaziland. I remember my brother said he went to Swaziland the other time and he was lost. The guys they took him to where he was going and only turned back to go where they were going. And I mean, my guy, you don't get that in South Africa. In fact, when you're lost, that's where we want to take it all from you. Whether you're going to be stranded or not or whatever, we don't give a toss, right? We don't care. You're going to see to finish, right? And for me, I was like, okay, it's very interesting that other countries are able to be helpful in that sense. Yet our country, which everybody looks at it as an economic hub of Africa, right? Everybody, before anyone makes it overseas in Africa, they want to come to South Africa and then they can ship out, right? And if we have got such a country, such a phenomenal country, how come we don't take care of it? I mean, I know America has got a lot of crime, right? But you hear them talk about America with pride. When they talk about the American flag, I mean, my guy, if I see South African flag, do you think I'm gonna jump up and down and go like, yeah, that's my flag, that's my thing? No, you're not gonna. And I'm not talking about myself alone. Every other person, I've never heard anybody who gets excited over a South African flag. Even our politicians, right? In fact, if someone comes and says, hey, here's 5K, chief, I just want the ID from South Africa. and be able to make it happen. If someone says, hey, Chief, I'm gonna give you a car, I'm gonna buy you a house, just give me a child so that I can be South African, you can't get it, right? And it's sad, it's very sad that as a country, we are at that state, to be quite honest. And it all speaks to crime. It all speaks to perhaps us not loving our country enough. I don't know. That's me and how I look at it. I feel like we need to get to a state where we love this country enough, man. We love it enough that we would want to die for it. But I can tell you one thing. It's probably not gonna be able to take place or to happen purely because the people who are leading us, they're leading us astray. They don't care about the country itself because they've got enough money to can live outside of the country. But even if they don't leave the country, they're still here. All these things will not affect them. It goes to the middle class guy, to the lower class guy, those of us who are trying to hustle and all that. We are the ones who are going to be affected. The things like crime, they affect most of us. You know, even in the normal day-to-day living affects you and I. If price of bread goes up, the guy who's got 10 bodyguards is not affected by that. You know, it's nothing to him. It's just another day in paradise for them. And the sooner we wake up and realize that these guys don't really care about us, maybe the better for us, you know. But when you think about how much other countries love their country, and how much we don't seem to care about ours and our leadership, likewise, they don't give a toss. They're not bothered, right? It's sad, such a sad state of affairs because unfortunately there's nowhere else we can go. Well, I mean, you can elope, you can go to any other country, you can move, you can relocate. Elope, why is that even like, really not? Anyway, you can relocate, you can emigrate, you can move, right? You can go and but in the heart of hearts, you will still be a South African. Same as a guy from Zim, he might have a South African ID, he might have everything here, but the fact that he still comes from Zim still affects him somehow. I believe you still know that you're from there, and somehow, some way, you might be affected one way or the other. I don't know how, I don't know how much of impact that will have on you, but I know that it will somewhat touch you, right? That's me. And it's said that as a mere human being who's here, there's nothing I can do because our leaders have to do something for us to be able to have that life, right? To have that pride in our country. At the moment, I don't want to lie to you. Anybody can speak however they want. They can sing in one tune. I don't think I would believe them. I don't think they're speaking to me because their actions are one thing and their voice say something completely different. So it's sad. It's really sad that we are at that state, honestly. And I don't blame anyone who then starts considering, hey, Aussie, do you have a space for me? Bots, Swaziland, and all these other countries that are doing well for themselves, right? But it's all what they have invested in themselves. And sometimes, as sad as it might be, I then think of Rania. I'm like, those guys really, really, really don't like us, right? They really don't. They don't want to be mixed with us. But do we blame them? Because they've got a system that for them works very well. For them, the system is doing what they want it to do. And if they have that, Why must they want anyone else to come and interrupt with what they have? Yes, they say, oh, by the look of things, they don't want blacks and all of that stuff. But do we want us? Do we, you, me, and everybody else who are black, do we want ourselves? Because if we did, we've got a whole lot of townships that we come from. Do you see us investing in those? Do you see us trying to protect those? Do you see us trying to work at reducing crime in those townships? Or the first chance that you get, oh, you're gone, you're out of there. Until, unless you don't have a choice, then you will be there. But the minute you get that opportunity to be out of there, you're gone. Why? And I think we need to ask ourselves that question to say, okay, why is it that we want someone to come and give us a finished product? Why can't we do it for ourselves? Because for me, there's one word that to this day I feel like I hate more than anything so far. It's the word called impimpi. That word, I feel like it's a word that is used for us to not take responsibility and to take accountability. A person robs someone, you can see them, you know them, they stay down the road, they stay up the road, they stay in that house. But we then say, I don't want to be snitch. I don't want to be known as a snitch. In fact, we even translate that or transfer that to our children. I remember I was having a conversation with my daughter, and he said, oh, snitches get stitches. But that word alone protects criminals to the core. It says to them, you can do anything you want, get away with it. Because we're not going to say anything, we don't care. And we are surprised when crime is increasing day in, day out. Hey man, I did not mean to be that serious, but this is me. That's what I'm thinking when I'm sitting alone, all these things, because I love this country. Right? I love this country. I would want to live my entire life, have generations that will live in this country. But the way it's going, I don't think that is going to happen. Now, I come from Limpopo, right? And I come from one of the most peaceful areas in Limpopo. I come from one area where you literally, if there's someone who's playing loud music from wherever they are, you'll hear it. That's how peaceful the place is. There, I don't remember hearing a gun when I was there. A gun being shot. Boom. In fact, I remember a story when I was growing up. My grandfather, may God bless his soul. So he was standing outside, looking over there, right? It was him and his friend. And it's like maybe you'd say about 15 k's away. That's where the main road, one of the main roads was. As they're looking over there, they see an ambulance, right? Drive past with flashy lights and stuff. This is at night or in the evening. And shortly after that, a police van goes after. These guys had a full-on conversation what might be happening with that ambulance and that van. Because it was something very unique that never happened. I mean, nobody said there was a gunshot or anything of that sort, or there was no. All they saw were the lights and it was enough to invoke a conversation to say, what might have happened? Where could that thing be going? Who might be getting arrested? They had a full-on 2-hour conversation about that thing. They never found out the answer. They never knew what happened, but they had a conversation about it. And I'm telling you, that's peaceful, where something unorthodox like that happens. It involves a conversation, a full-on conversation. Whether it's informed or not informed, it's a different matter altogether. But just the fact that it's not something that we are accustomed to, that we are used to, it was serious, right? It was very serious. But when you come back to our South Africa now and urban places, so to speak, right? You talk Joburg, you talk Cape Town, by the way. I mean, hey, the fact that you're in Cape Town, you're not excluded from this conversation. No, you might be from another country, but you still. Well, if you're from South Africa, you know what I'm talking about. Anywho, um, the fact is that crime gets us to have conversations that we're not ready to defend. And I don't think we are able to defend those conversations. And I don't think we'll ever be able to. But anyway, who am I? Just one guy who's breathing in and out, who doesn't know what he's saying. You know what I mean? But the second thing that I wanted to speak about, right, is drugs. So a couple of years back, a friend of mine and I, we did a little bit of a research, finding out about Nyaope. We even documented it, just that the visuals got lost or they got corrupted or whatever the case. But the gentleman that I sat with, he took drugs, right? He's like, okay, you know what? When you get introduced to this thing, it's nice. You want a bit more of it, and. But before you know it, it has set inside your intestines. So what it does is it chows the inside of your intestines. Hence, you would not want to bath, right? And because it gets very irritative. It doesn't like water at all, right? That comfort inside, because now it has eaten the inside of your intestine. You know, like when you open up the intestines, for those who are like me, who come from the township, you open up the intestines of a cow, there's something slimy, right? That glands, it chows all of that away. That's that drug. Yes, the mixture of a whole lot of drugs. It's a mixture of, in fact, it's all the remains of other drugs that is put together, made a pill or powder for you to smoke along with your weed or whatever the case. Now, that gets you to a point of not wanting to be interfered with in any way, shape, or form. Be it water, your skin pores should not be open for anything. You just like that, you just want it that way. And when you're in that state, the last thing you want is to get out of it, because it does not even allow you the opportunity to be unhigh, because it has chowed inside now. You know the pain that comes with it. There's immense pain. That's why a lot of people will tell you that you can never be rehabilitated when you have started taking that. Because it's extremely difficult for the intestines to build the glands. But in any case, I'm not a doctor, I don't know these things. I'm just talking from what I was told. So you have this drug that chows your insides, and after that, because it wants you to be high on it again, it requires for you to make any other plan. That is why you find this person can steal from their own house. Because, I mean, again, guys who take Nyaope, they're not bad people, right? They're not like criminals. But because of how much pain they're experiencing at that point in time, they want to relieve it somehow. They want to deal with that pain. It gives them courage that you cannot believe. They can steal anywhere. If they don't find anything to steal anywhere else, they'll go back home. That's why you find that a mother who's got a son who's a Nyaope guy, she always locks her doors. But he can even come and steal that door. You don't know. Those guys are they're very courageous because of this thing that they're taking. It just makes them. In fact, this guy was telling me about a friend of his who, because this was in Orlando, right, in Soweto. There's a power station, and there were some steel of old steel on there. So these guys decided, you know what, we're gonna untangle this steel and go sell it. That's that's immense work that one has to put in. If you think about it, that's some serious catastrophic challenge right there. These guys went up, they unscrewed the things, and unfortunately they did it wrong. He fell. He fell with one of the steel things, and he got badly hurt. I think he even died, if I'm not mistaken. It was a couple of years back, but it was all over news because of how courageous this person gets to be. I remember when I was still staying in Soweto, there was a guy. He stayed in our street, and you can see he comes from a well-off family, so to speak, right? It's not like he comes from a very poor family. And by the way, guys who do this are not guys who are from poor families, most of them, because you have to afford the drug first. Otherwise, stick to your, yeah, whatever. But anyway, that's just another. All I'm saying is, you get this courage, and this guy who stayed in our street got courage to jump into my wall, to break my window, to steal my wedding suit, then to steal. What else did he steal? My shoes. He stole some other stuff. He stole a couple of things there. He stole quite a few things. Shoes. Yeah, a lot of. I think about 3-4 pairs of shoes. Came back the second time around. He broke in. He stole a tablet. He stole, I think, a laptop as well. I forgot whatever. But yeah, it was a couple of things that he stole. But it was that type of party. Because the courage that you get when you have to sort out that demon, it's immense. It's huge. It's big. It's massive. And my conspiracy, where I'm seated in my own corner, right? See, it's my own corner. I think that someone wants to hold a black child back, because when they give you that thing prohibits you from doing anything that's productive. That thing makes sure that you don't live life. I mean, if you think about cocaine, if you think about Mendrax and all these other drugs that are sold in the Lani areas, they give you energy, they give you power. Yes, you'll be addicted, but you can still go to a rehab and deal with it. This one that is given to our black people in the townships, that you can deal with, that is killing you, dead, silent, out of there. So I think that if we don't wake up and smell the damn coffee, we will find this thing too late and we'll have problems. I kid you not. We will have a lot of problems. But anyway, who am I, man? Just breathing in and out, doing nothing more, right? But I desire that one day a black child can wake up and smell the coffee, realize that the word impimpi doesn't work. If you have to, I think you must be able to say that guy. Because that very guy that you don't want to pimpiza him is the very guy who is making you be looked at in some ways in these offices. Automatically, when you come in and you say, I'm from Tembisa, or I'm from Soweto, like, the township guy. They've got all sorts of opinions about you. You didn't even do anything. You didn't say anything. You didn't bother anyone. You came here to do your work and you walk out. But someone has got a damn opinion about you, all because of that guy who messed it up for all of us. And you still say, fine, man. Go right ahead. Do you, boo-boo? As they would say. Do you? But I don't think that the way we are going, it's the right one. I mean, we've all seen that our country doesn't care about us. They don't have any problem doing whatever. And yeah, unfortunately, we are alone, man. Fortunately, we are alone. You are so on your own, it's not fun. But it happens, chief. It happens, my guy. So, anyway, it's Mr. V. I gotta be out of here, man. I just thought I should chat to you about those two issues that have been sitting somewhere here. Somewhere here, yeah. Somewhere in my heart. And they've bothered me for quite a long time. We'll get to talk about other things as well. We'll see. But for now, just go subscribe, man. Just like, share, hit the notification bell, and we'll be good. Adios.